4 on the list right now. Probably like an hour, a little bit over an hour's worth of content with this. So we're chilling for this. Not with this one, obviously. There's like 4 videos, but 2 of them are short, 2 of them are a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, the first one. Here's why Subway failed. Now I still like Subway a lot. Uh, See, I already got the W video, bro, queued up. Let's get it. I still like Subway though. I don't know what they're talking about. It's failed, probably numbers wise or something going on. Maybe is that what they're saying? But maybe it could have been the death of the $5 footlong that
At its
solidified
peak,
some.
Subway used to have more than
Oh my
40,000
gosh!
locations.
Holy AI! Yo, business boss. This is like deep AI. Whoa! What happened? What happened? This is like deep level AI. Oh snap! I forgot I gotta turn this on. Let me find it real quick. Here we go. Play. There we are. Okay, we're good. Yeah, hold on, let me actually like this stream too. Wow.
Worldwide and nearly $12 billion in annual sales. But today,
Mm,
thousands of stores have shut down, franchisees are complaining, and the
thousands?
brand that taught Americans to eat fresh is struggling
Eat
to find
fresh.
any takers for its subs. In this video, I'll
I'll
talk
take
about the rise and
subs. What are
fall
y'all
of
talking
Subway.
about? I love Subway. Last year I went to a writers conference actually, um, in Atlanta, and it's called Black Writers Weekend. It was and then on the way there, I got like a big sub because you know how I do when I go out to like conventions and stuff like that. Uh, I'll just I try to grab a lot of food. Well, a lot of you guys probably don't know this, but I usually try to take like a lot of food whenever I go, so I don't have to buy like expensive food on site. And it's probably not the best quality food most of the time, but yeah. So I got some Subway on the way, and I got like a lot of calories worth of food for like the entire day from like Subway. It was like a large like full sub that I got. It was great. It was amazing. Plus I had that with like some food that I brought from home. But I say all that to say, yeah, I fuck with Subway. $5 footlongs going away was tough, but it wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back for me. But
Subway's
what does
story
he say?
began in 1965 with a 17-year-old named Fred DeLuca who wanted to
He was
become a
17.
doctor and needed to raise money for college. A family
Mm,
friend, Dr. Peter Buck, loaned him
Peter
$1,000
Buck.
shop. That first store, called Pete's Super Submarines,
Pete
sold a
Super
few hundred
Subs, bro.
sandwiches on its opening day.
Nice.
It wasn't an instant hit, but it worked well enough to
Costing.
keep going.
Ooh. Whoa. Wait, this had to be a long time ago though, so this is less impressive. Probably. These margins are probably less impressive. He sold 312 sandwiches, each costing less than a dollar. Oh, that's not a dollar to make. That's like a dollar in total. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. But how did he make those? If they costed less than a dollar? Because stuff was super cheap back then. What year did he say this was?
By the mid 70s, they had
Okay.
16
There we go.
locations.
That makes
The
sense.
turning point came when Subway figured out that if you strip a restaurant down to its basics, no fryers, no grills, no complicated equipment, you can open stores quickly and cheaply. While
Mm-hmm.
opening a McDonald's could cost close to $1 million, a
Ooh,
Subway franchise could be launched for around $100 to $150,000.
that's not bad.
That made Subway accessible to almost anyone with a little bit of savings and a lot of ambition.
That's
They
actually
decided to
dope.
franchise their business, and the idea took off. By the
That's
early
actually
80s,
dope. I low key didn't know that. Yo, I might buy a Subway. Hey, low key. That might be an investment later. That's crazy. Obviously not right now, but it'd be something to get into later,
by
for sure.
1990, it had around 5,000, and by the early 2000s, it had overtaken McDonald's in total locations. You could put a Subway
Whoa.
almost anywhere. Strip malls, gas
Strip
stations,
malls.
colleges, even hospitals.
Yep. Yep.
Now in the 80s and 90s, the
The
definition of
health
healthy
wave.
had started to change to low-fat, high-carb food pyramid eating. Bread,
Not the
low-fat meat,
food
and
pyramid.
fresh veggies became good, Whereas
Oh, so
greasy,
Subway was
high-fat
eating
burgers
real
became
good
bad.
then during
Moreover,
those like
people were getting fed up
inverted
with the
food
kind of
pyramids.
impersonal, standardized food that places like McDonald's were offering. They wanted to
Mm,
have their food customized.
have it
Subway
your
was
way.
perfectly positioned to ride that.
Wait, oh, that's BK, right? That's Burger King. I was about to say, isn't McDonald's the one that says "Have it your way"? But no, it's not. I'm loving it. Like, take whatever we'll give you, and you're loving it.
Wave with their Eat Fresh branding and the
Eat
ability
fresh.
to let customers add their own lettuce,
Yeah,
tomatoes, turkey, and bread
yeah,
exactly as they wanted.
yeah.
Then Subway caught
See,
one
now
of the
that's
luckiest
powerful.
breaks ever. In the late 1990s,
$5
Jared
foot long.
Fogle, a college student from Indiana, claimed he had
Mm-hmm.
lost over 200 pounds by sticking to a
Whoa,
very
whoa. That's a W, and I believe it too because like Subway just they just have good food. Like it's simple stuff. It's not like it's simple and balanced. That's the thing cuz you're getting like most major food groups within like one meal. So it makes sense. And it's like the healthy versions of them, like the fresh vegetables and everything too, especially like you get fresh greens on there. You get some healthy fats if you get like some of the oil, like olive oil or something. And you get lean protein uh, with some turkey slices or something like that. Um, yeah,
strict
yeah,
diet of 2 Subway sandwiches a day. Subway picked up the story because it fit well with their healthy image, the
works.
face of the brand.
Really
Oh,
did lose
whoa.
245 pounds eating Subway sandwiches.
Wait, he was. Oh, that's him? I didn't know that was him. Whoa, that's crazy. Yo, I didn't know that was him. That's cool.
I mean,
That's
it's like a
really
whole
cool.
person and a half.
He starred in hundreds of commercials, helping Subway tie
Hundreds?
itself to a weight loss, discipline, and healthier
Yeah.
eating story at a time when
I
Americans
didn't
were
know he
craving
was
for
like.
an alternative to burgers and fries.
Okay, so
As
that's
the
actually
trend
really
caught
cool then,
on,
because they made somebody who like was actually, very much invested in the philosophy of the not only the philosophy of the business, but like the way that they like operate and things like that. So it's like that's actually a W sponsorship basically, because like it's a real one. It's based in authenticity. It's not like, oh, we're just gonna pay you a couple hundred. Can you get on here and do a commercial? No, it's like he was actually eating their food for what did he say, like a couple of years or a year? Was it 2 years? I think I forget, but he's actually been eating their food and having health improvements from it. What better sponsors than that?
sales kept climbing and new stores kept opening, and by the
That's
early
that's
2010s,
W.
Subway had
That's a
grown
big
to
W.
roughly 44,000 locations
44K.
worldwide.
Ooh.
At the time, it looked unstoppable, but a lot of the decisions that had fueled this growth were quietly stacking
Hero
up,
is
and
coming up
soon the
short.
cracks began to show. Quick
Mm.
pause. If you're liking the video, make sure to subscribe and help us reach our target of 5,000 subs. Thanks.
Mm. I don't. Is this
As
just
Subway
bad
kept
audio quality, or
expanding,
is this like
stores
AI
continued
voice?
opening in a lot of the same markets, often very close to existing locations. Instead of pulling customers away from competitors, many of those new stores were pulling business from other nearby Subways. It
Mm.
started showing up in the numbers. The average Subway
Mm.
location was bringing in somewhere around $425,000 to $440,000 a year, which was noticeably lower
Oh,
than what
okay.
a lot of other sandwich
That's like, yeah, but when you look at the startup costs, it's way lower, or it's way like bigger of a margin probably. But like that's not bad. Having a Subway, hey, that's not bad considering the startup cost. You make that back in like a year, over a year. You make three times that. Wow, that's highly efficient. But the fact that it's failing is concerning. What happened?
chains were doing. Some of them were generating
Or
roughly
he's saying
twice
it's
that per
failing.
store. For franchise owners, that meant thinner margins and tougher math. But the pain
Mhm.
wasn't so obvious to the people managing Subway because the franchising model they had followed was lopsided in favor of the firm. While opening a
that mean?
Subway franchise
How
cost
much?
much less than other fast food chains, franchisees had to pay
Wait.
as much as franchise cost much.
The minimum financial requirements are 150K net worth with 100,000 liquid assets on hand per location. Ah, okay, okay. Depending on the location, on the territory, higher requirements may be necessary. Mm. Mm.
Less than other fast food
Makes
chains.
sense.
Franchisees had to pay as much as 8% of their margins in royalties, and another
What?
4.5% in marketing fees later on.
Wait, 8% of their margins? Wait, is it 8% of the total revenue or 8% of their profit? That's a little bit different, right? Royalty fee is 8. Oh, of gross sales it says. Okay. Advertising fee is 4.5. Gross sales. Ah, okay. So it's like 12.5 in total. That's like it's like eBay, right?
So the managers over at Subway really had no incentive to slow down the expansion spree despite all the noise, because every
Mm.
new franchisee gave them more money.
Yeah.
Almost
$5.
everyone remembers the $5 footlong.
Yeah,
At the time, people saw it
there's
as a brilliant
nobody that
marketing
doesn't
move,
know
and in
that.
the short term, it was. Introduced during the 2008 recession,
Nobody that's heard
when
of Subway
everyone was
at least.
starved of cash and looking for deals, the $5 promotion drove a lot of traffic towards
Ooh.
Subway outlets.
Man, if that came
Same-store
back
sales
nowadays,
jumped as much as 20% in some
boy.
markets, and the promotion drove roughly $3.8 billion in annual sales at its
I'll be
peak.
eating Subway
But it also
crazy.
changed how customers thought about Subway. People began to associate the brand with cheap rather than healthy. As food and labor costs rose,
That's
franchisees struggled.
that's weird because it's both. Unless, of course, they reduce the quality. Yeah.
But it also changed how customers thought about Subway. People began to associate the brand with cheap rather than healthy.
Oh, that
As
was just
food
like
and
the
labor
okay.
costs rose, franchisees struggled to make money on sandwiches. Customers continued to expect to pay just $5 for. Subway tried to pull back from the promotion, then brought it back in a slightly different form. Each time,
$6 foot long. That doesn't hit as much. You could say $12 foot long. $1 per inch. So file FTC complaints over foot long promotion. Why? I'm confused. When did it that it disappeared? Or was it before then? But I remember that it happened.
To make money on sandwiches. Customers
Yeah,
continued to
because how much
expect
did it
to pay
cost
just
them
$5
per
for.
sandwich on average?
Subway tried to pull back from the promotion, then
Like, what
brought
were
it
their
back in a
ingredient
slightly
costs?
different form. Each time, it frustrated owners more and reinforced the price expectations customers had already formed.
Going
In the
downhill.
mid-2010s, Subway also started dealing with a steady stream
Steady stream of what?
of negative headlines. There were questions about ingredient quality, investigations.
Only 50% meat. Subway chicken? I didn't really eat their chicken, but what was it? Oh, it was half soy. Whoa. Yeah, the only meat I actually get from Subways, and like really on most subs in general, is like turkey.
Into chicken content. A ruling in Ireland that Subway's bread had too much sugar to legally be considered bread.
Whoa, wait. It has too much sugar to be
A ruling
bread.
in
It's not
Ireland
even
that
bread?
Subway's bread had too much sugar to
It's Irish? And US chains? Whoa. It's confectionery, not actual bread.
legally
Whoa.
be considered bread. Lawsuits over portion.
Falsely advertises amount in meat in sandwich. Subway, what happened? What happened? Oof. Oof. See, I feel like that's just something that it's hard to balance apparently. Is like, well, not really. It's hard to balance if the core of why you're doing what you're doing isn't solid. It's hard to balance because like when these like quality changes and things start happening that like take away the core of like what the business was supposed to be, then it's just like a little shell that like makes money, yeah, but like it's not even really anything that it was supposed to be, or at least a shell of its former self. It's unfortunate.
Sizes and
Costing $7.61.
Lawsuits over portion
New York woman claims steak and cheese sandwich costing $7.61 is advertised with 200% more meat than she received.
sizes and advertising claims. Later, there was a dispute over whether Subway's
Oh,
tuna
it's
was
not
actually
tuna? I forgot about that. Yeah, I did used to get some tuna on sandwiches, but it was a long time ago. It was way before 2021, though. The tuna saga prompted clients, to defend itself. Well, what is it?
tuna. For a company that spent decades positioning
Is it
itself
not
as a
tuna?
fresher, healthier alternative, repeated questions about food quality carried more weight than they might have for a traditional fast food chain. At the
Marketing,
same
man.
time, public ideas about health were shifting. Fresh
Yeah.
started to mean fewer additives, simpler
Yep.
ingredients, and food prepared on site.
Yep.
Healthy started to mean fresh ingredients, fewer preservatives, and food prepared in store. Chains like Chipotle,
Yep.
Sweet Green, Jersey Mike's, and
Mhm.
Panera leaned into that shift. Subway
Oh,
didn't
Jersey
even
Mike's
begin
is on
slicing
that.
meat in stores until much
Oh, okay.
later,
I didn't know. I was just
long
thinking
after
about that the
customers
other
had
day,
started
actually.
noticing the difference elsewhere. Then in 2015, Jared Fogle was arrested and later convicted on charges
got
involving
arrested?
child abuse. Subway
Oh
cut ties
my
and being arrested.
gosh. Why is it always that?
And later convicted.
Why do I? You know what? That seems to be a common theme with people who like gain a certain amount of popularity, solid base. That's so tough, man. 15 years in prison, bro. Get this guy out of here, man. What is he doing? That's too much, bro. Too much. Who's to say? Ah, man. Interstate. He traveled to pay interstate. He traveled interstate to pay for, bruh, 400, bruh. What?
Subway cut
All right,
ties
bruh.
immediately, but the damage was
Yeah.
lasting because Jared had been tied to the brand for over a decade. That
Yeah.
same period also marked
Moving
a leadership
crazy,
turning
bruh.
point. Founder Fred DeLuca had been diagnosed with leukemia in 2013
Aw,
and
man.
passed away in 2015.
Dang,
His
man.
absence exposed how centralized decision-making had been. The company cycled through strategies without fixing the underlying issues: oversaturation, franchisee frustration, and a brand that no longer matched how people thought about food. Sales began falling as store closures accelerated, with Subway closing nearly 1,000 locations in some years. By
Per
the early
year?
2020s, U.S. store count had dropped by roughly 25% from its peak.
Sheesh.
In the late 2010s and early 2020s, Subway tried making changes. They brought in refreshed menus, remodeled the stores, and invested heavily in meat slicers so stores could prepare ingredients on site. They also pushed digital ordering and loyalty programs. But then the pandemic
Yeah, I remember
happened
that.
and made things worse.
Yeah, COVID.
Subway was slower to pivot than its competitors, and many franchisees struggled through reduced foot traffic and rising costs. In 2023, after
Ooh,
nearly
Chipotle
6
chicken
decades
and
as
cheese,
a
that looks
family-owned
good.
business, Subway agreed to sell itself to Roark Capital for around $9 billion. Just
Oh,
a
wow.
few years earlier, the brand had been valued closer to $12 billion. Roark specializes in franchise systems, and its early moves focused on stabilizing and expanding.
Good. Hey, yes, that's what I'm talking about with these franchising. Like so many people, it feels like they're always focused on expansion, but really they should be doing is solidifying the core of it before they expand. Cause like if you're expanding bullshit, it's just gonna be more bullshit, and you have to deal with later like more problems down the road. And it's gonna cost a lot of other people's stuff, cause like it's gonna cost people jobs, people who thought they had jobs. It's gonna cost them jobs. It's gonna cost a lot of wasted resources. Instead of just making sure that like the stuff that you have is solid first, and then branch out from there to make sure it can like stick the landing. You know what I mean?
It still has around 37,000 locations globally, which gives it scale most brands would kill for. But scale alone isn't a strategy. The
Yeah,
question
scale's
remains
not a
whether Subway
strategy.
can redefine what it's supposed to be in a food landscape that has clearly moved on. If you like this deep dive, hit like,
Yeah, I
subscribe,
liked
and
it, man.
comment. Let me know
Did
what
I?
brand you
Did I
want
like the
covered
video?
next, and what
Pretty sure
Subway
I
meant
did.
to you back in its prime.
Wendy's is closing too. Yeah, I liked it, and I left the first comment.
Most of the younger generation
Wendy's is
today
getting
thinks
clapped
Best
too?
Buy is something that peaked, stalled,
Nah,
and then
Best Buy is
faded.
lit. One of my friends, the pandemic. Nah, he was telling me about the. Yeah, we were supposed to get essential workers pay too and all that. Like retail stuff. Video, bro. W video, bro. They're getting like time and a half or something like that, right? Peaked, stalled, and faded.
Just like malls and landline
Yikes.
phones.
All right, what's up? The rise and fall of Best Buy. What's wrong with Best Buy? What happened?
But that's not really the case. The
Mm.
number of twists and turns in Best Buy's story can easily put a Hollywood blockbuster to shame. Today, uncovering the story of Best Buy.
Okay.
In
Best Buy.
1966, Dick Schulze opened a small stereo shop in St. Paul called Sound of Music.
Music and
At
sound.
the time, home audio wasn't a commodity. Stereo
Yeah.
systems were expensive, technical, and
Mm.
emotive about how things
Yeah.
sounded, how they looked in the living
Yeah,
room,
my dad is
and
a
what they
huge
said about
proponent
you.
of that surround
Schulze
sound
leaned
system.
into that by focusing on selection and letting
That stuff
customers
is pretty cool,
explore
though. I like
instead
that.
of pushing quick sales. The first major inflection point came in the early 80s,
Mm.
almost by accident.
I remember going to Radio
After a
Shack and
tornado
stuff.
damaged one of his stores, Schulze cleared inventory with a massive parking lot sale. People loved the format, and that experience pushed the company toward the superstore model. In 1983, the first store officially branded as Best Buy opened in Minnesota. The format change was revolutionary.
I still go to Best Buy, though.
dropped commission sales.
I got my TV from Best Buy, actually. That's what I got. I got it during Black Friday. Almost entirely from rewards points from my previous business, which is pretty cool. Off of using like some of the credit cards that I was using to buy inventory and like restock inventory and stuff like that. Premium. But I also got some like Legends of Lorcana
Expanded
cards
floor
or
space dramatically and focused on high volume over high margins.
Disney Lorcana cards.
Instead of being guided from product
From
to
there.
product, customers could wander
For a
aisles
couple of my
TVs,
friends for their
stereos,
birthday.
VCRs, and later computers, comparing features on their own terms. Through the rest of the 80s, Best Buy expanded aggressively. Stores got larger, inventories got deeper, and the company widened beyond audio into home video, appliances, and early personal computing. By the early 90s, Best Buy had become one of the largest consumer electronics retailers in the US. In 1987, the company reported about $639 million in revenue. By
Okay.
1993, that number had jumped to roughly 1.6 billion.
Nice.
But numbers don't capture the extent of Best Buy's dominance during that era. If you walked into a Best Buy in the 90s,
Yeah, because not the 90s. I can't speak for what happened in the 90s, but from what I remember about Best Buy, it's like in a completely different Radio Shack. Obviously, probably not Radio Shack in its prime. I think Radio Shack in its prime probably beat it. But there's another one. What is it called? Circuit City? Something like that. Fry's Electronics, too. But I think they, yeah, they're Best Buy's in a different league as far as from what I'm
future. Walls
aware
of
of.
televisions played demo loops, rows of boomboxes and CD players sat powered on, computer sections buzzed with CRT monitors and early PCs running software you'd only read about. For a lot of families, this was the first place kids
Call of
touched a
Duty.
computer or saw
Modern
a
Warfare
flat-screen
2.
TV in person. That Wonderland-like positioning paid off as competitors struggled. Circuit City,
Yep,
Best Buy's
Circuit City,
biggest
there it
rival at
is.
the time, leaned harder into commission sales and narrower layouts. Radio Shack stayed small
Radio
and
Shack.
fragmented, and Best
Yeah.
Buy's model kept on winning.
Hey, what about
In
Fry's
2000,
Electronics?
The company surpassed Circuit City in earnings, pulling ahead as the dominant national electronics retailer. Revenue crossed $15 billion in 2001. The same year, the company expanded into Canada. through
Yeah,
the
because they
acquisition of
directly benefited from the .com bubble and all the internet revolution stuff. They like quite literally directly benefited from it, like because you can't use any of that stuff without going to physically pick up something to use it, and you physically pick it up from Best Buy apparently.
job, giving it a second
Makes
major
sense.
market. In 2002, Best
Geek
Buy
Squad.
acquired Geek Squad, which quietly added something competitors didn't have. in-home
Yeah, tech
at
support.
scale.
Oh my gosh, that was
acquisition
such a
mattered more
good
than it
thing.
seemed at the time. As technology got more
Because if I didn't know like
people
a
didn't
lot of the
just want
stuff that I
devices. They
know
wanted
now,
help setting them up,
like
fixing
if
them,
I
and
like if I
understanding
didn't learn about computer stuff like on my own, right? I would be so lost with a lot of the stuff that like was like being developed at the time. Not even at the time, because like I was born in '97, right? So like I didn't really like start getting exposed to like actual like internet and technology and stuff like that until like a little bit later, probably like around the 2010s, close to there, right? But like if I didn't know a lot of the stuff that I knew about computers, or at least like try to teach myself or like learn from other things, then it would be crazy, especially the leaps and bounds that it is now, like with AI and all that. It would be a whole different world.
them. Geek Squad gave Best Buy a way to stay involved.
That's why
after the
Geek
sale,
Squad is so
especially
important,
with
low
less
key,
tech-savvy
for them.
customers. By the mid-2000s, Best Buy's revenue had passed 30
Mm.
billion. But then, the ground started shifting underneath that model. Quick pause. If you're loving the story so far, hit like and subscribe to help us reach our
You know
goal
I
of
already did,
5,000
man.
subs.
You know I already did.
Online
Already
shopping
did.
didn't immediately kill store traffic, but it changed buying behavior. People still went to Best Buy, but now they were going just
Yeah,
to see
I
the
like
features
actually
and
go.
check out the options.
Yeah, I like going to Best Buy physically. That's like one of the stores. Like whenever I like need to go to Best Buy, I always like going to Best Buy because it's like there's always cool stuff in there. Not only it's a cool vibe in there because like there's a lot of cool like new stuff that I might not have like seen, and it's just cool to like go in there and like look at all the like whoa, look at all these gadgets and cool like electronic stuff. Um, Yeah, I just find it pretty cool to just physically walk through a Best Buy. Like if there's something that I wanted to order that was from Best Buy, I would sooner go to the store to see if they have it first than to just order it online just because I like the experience of it. The same way with like buying games. I'm the same with buying games. Like if I'll physically go to the GameStop or like Target or something, I like keeping like physical technological stuff.
Actual buying was happening online on Amazon, where prices were significantly lower. It was so common that they actually coined a term for it, showrooming. By
Showrooming,
2012,
yep.
the pressure had become obvious.
Yep.
Best Buy's comp sales
And
fell
that's proof that it
1.7%
works
in the
though.
domestic market,
That's the reason
but
why I enjoy
7.5%
going in person.
in the international market. Adjusted operating margin declined to 3% from 4.6% a year earlier, and the stock cratered to just $8 from more than $20 a couple of years back. Around the same time, CEO Brian Dunn resigned abruptly, adding to the sense that the company was losing control. That's when Best Buy made a move that probably saved it from following Circuit City into bank. 2012, the board hired Hubert Joly, a hospitality executive with no retail electronics background.
Okay.
Instead of denying the problem, Joly acknowledged that showrooming was real and that customers were
It
already
is.
using Best Buy differently. One of his first
Yeah,
major
showrooming
decisions
is super
was
real.
price matching Amazon and other online retailers.
Yeah, it's 100% real. It's quite literally the only reason I enjoy going in there in person over ordering online nowadays, even though it's so easy.
The move was a hit on the top line as revenue fell to $39 billion in 2014 from $50 billion just a couple of years back. But it removed the main reason customers
Why
left
is it failing though?
to balance that cost-cutting program. Between 2012 and 2019, Best Buy cut over $2 billion in expenses.
Wow,
About
how?
$3 billion of it from non-labor areas.
That's good. So the majority of it was not cutting people's salaries. Well, how did they reduce the? How did they do it?
Jets were sold, printing went black and white.
Oh wait.